stop and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tires. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Kyle Busch will be in here. So will Gus Dean. Who's Gus Dean? Well, he won a race at about 1:30 in the morning Eastern time at Daytona in the ARCA Series race. He'll be here. Christopher Bell running for that Daytona 500 win. He'll be here in the Freak Nation, and so much more. Bubba Wallace will be joining us here in the Freak Nation as we got ourselves a Daytona 500 for Monday. Welcome to Speed Freaks. I have to say that if there was ever a show to watch someone who is the quarterback or the lead co-host here, now's the time to do it. I've got very little sleep going on here, and I'm not asking for any violins or any sympathy here, but it's going to be fun.
Oh, you're going to get it.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Sometime in the next 2 hours, Statman Crash, Richard C. Suave may have to just reach over here and tap me on the shoulder to wake my ass up because, man, what a rowdy freaking weekend. Or week. Week.
Whoa, was that foreshadowing? A rowdy weekend. Monday is the Daytona 500 right now. Mm-hmm. Are you trying to tell us something about rowdy?
No, I spent Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a little bit of Sunday at Daytona International Speedway. There was Wednesday was media day, and we got so much great content. I hope you follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You're seeing some insight to race car drivers that you don't see anywhere. I mean, we've got Kyle Busch coming up talking about he's got some squeaky hips in a video that we think there is a Lucas Oil product to help him get the squeak out of those hips. That's coming up here in the Freak Nation. Bubba Wallace's mental state, I talked to him about that. It's going to be a hell of a 2 hours here in the Freak Nation. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and, of course, the website, speedfreaks.tv. Listening to us on the Freak Radio Network and watching us on MAV TV. Crasher, you may have gotten some sleep. Statman, Richard, you may have gotten some sleep, but we are expecting a Daytona 500 to get cranking early Sunday afternoon. But nope, it's Monday.
It's Monday, but what's the sleep have to do with it? Except for the fact that you just mentioned Gus Dean took the win in the ARCA race on Friday night, Saturday morning around 1:30. When did you get back to the hotel?
Got to sleep at 4 o'clock, Statman. That's Eastern time, buddy. Yeah, Statman, I got to sleep at 4 o'clock, buddy.
4 o'clock in the afternoon or morning? 4 o'clock. That's
bro.
My. Well, you had a long plane flight. Did you sleep on the plane?
Oh, and then there's that the next night. And what happened then, Kenny? You decided that because you saw the weekend was going to be a rain out, you decided to change your flight. And what happened?
Slept on the floor at the airport, Statman. The first time I've ever done that in my short time on this planet.
In Miami, nonetheless.
That is something I wouldn't admit to. That you are lucky to be here, sleeping on the floor of any airport anywhere. And I'd rather walk around a zombie than to sleep on the floor of an airport.
The carpet smelled clean. That's all I gave a crap about. But it's just Miami Airport. It's as big as some countries. But how do these idiot people find places to sit close to me and jabber at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to sleep? This damn thing is as big as Dominican Republic. Yet you got to find seats within earshot of me to talk about something about a breakup of a boyfriend.
Oh,
please.
Gossip next to you at 3 in the morning.
Go find your own damn carpet 100 yards from me, will you?
Spill the tea, baby. Spill the tea.
Oh.
Come on, it's TMZ. I watched TMZ for a little bit today. We got to give us some freak background here.
No.
Was it a Taylor Swift breakup? I mean, could we start something here? She and Kelsey on the rocks?
I was so punch drunk from lack of sleep and gnarliness from the airlines that they could have been talking about my own breakup and I wouldn't have known what the hell they were talking about. Man.
Wait a minute.
Hey, Kyle Busch, his son Brexton continues to win. What does our daughter do? She won her first karting race over the weekend that we hope to get to.
It was pretty spectacular yesterday.
Look at that man's face. Look at his face. You're getting hilly in
You won a
a
kart race? Really?
Uh-huh.
My.
I was blown away. She's never driven a kart ever. She gets in. Okay, we'll be talking about this later, right?
Yeah.
She, massively surprised me. She actually knows how to take the apex.
Well,
What?
you may have to build up the old bank account here. You'll be sleeping on airports all over the world if that's the case.
How about this, man? She goes out and wins a karting race and then goes out and scores some goals in a soccer game.
Yeah.
And they win one of two soccer. It's just there you go. Here you go. Yeah. Nice job. There she is.
Yeah.
There she is.
Girl.
Way to go. That's my
She
girl,
hears us
Hillary.
talking
Yeah.
Welcome.
Way to go.
Oh, Henley, go get your
hysterical.
go get your karting trophy. All right, go bring that thing in here. Again, listen.
Trophy. That's badass.
She got-
Let's go.
And it's heavy, too.
I'm covering all these big-time NASCAR Cup Series and Xfinity and ARCA Series drivers while my daughter is going out and winning her freaking Daytona 500, her Indy 500, her Chili Bowl, her Knoxville Nationals. You go hold that up there for the Freak Nation. There it is.
Look at that. We got to go full screen on this here.
Yeah.
Cole. We got to look at that.
That
That's
is
sick.
gorgeous.
It's all like 24 karat gold. That's probably
Yeah.
worth thousands of dollars.
Oh,
there.
without
And, like,
question. Yes.
But like Henley and Crasher, all right, get out of here, punk. But like Henley and we all thought is that chocolate?
Wait a minute. She just ran through 3 studios twice there without any hesitation. No doors opening and closing.
Yeah.
Freak.
The magic of TV
Again,
and radio.
we thought we were going to have us in a Daytona 500 in the can, but we don't. And by next Sunday, we hope to have Atlanta and Daytona in the can, Freak Nation.
Well, here's the deal. The motorsports world took off this weekend. Supercross had the weekend off.
Mhm.
Arena Cross was off. So it was basically Daytona 500 and any other micro sprint / super late model / anything else going on in Florida to supplement this massive 66th running of the Daytona 500 weekend. And most of it got rained out because of this huge swath of storms that just kind of curled up from Mexico and washed out most of Florida. Good times.
Which, by the way, if you follow us on Twitter, Freak Nation, thank you for bringing that up, Crash. If you follow us on Twitter at Speed Freaks, we asked this question. And Richie, if you had your graphics department working on it, we would be able to pull the graphic up that I so
because you gave him so much warning.
that I so desperately worked on. It's gorgeous.
Oh.
Listen, the graphics with this are just gorgeous.
Mm.
We said, send us your best name for this freaking atmospheric river freight training towards the Daytona 500, and you could win the biggest bag of Freaks swag this side of Daytona Beach. Go. We got some legendary responses to this, and I don't know if we go any further than one of the first ones that we had. I won't spoil it out of the gate. Let's go. You got the Raintona 500, the Great American Wave. They're pretty good. All right. You have the Daytona Drench 500, the Speed Freaks Wall of Water 500, brought to you by Torrent, the Gulf of Rainaria.
It's a Game of Thrones reference.
Thank you. The Tomoka River, Daytona Rain 500.
Oh, see what they did there? Ton of rain.
There you go. Richie, pick the audio down. We don't want to get sued by ACDC. Again, the Reno 911, the Fun Police. But does any one of these beat this? Who was it out of the gate? It was Just Ron at Ron Bearable. Out of the gate, he says, the Pain Handle. Is that, seriously, is there anyone better than the Pain Handle?
Yeah, there were a couple better in there.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where's the one that I liked? I'm
Like the
looking.
first or second one you said was probably the best one of that group.
The Roid Monster. There you go. So we will award a winner here sometime
What do they get?
today. listen, you know how big the freak swag is. I'm just going to put a bunch of stuff. Listen, Statman goes to his door once or twice a week in a box. Shows up with gear in it. Our prize closet is loaded. So, yeah, congratulations. Whoever the hell won that damn thing.
Let's make sure Lucas Oil is a part of it, because it's also a big weekend with Lucas Oil, not just the rowdy factor, but with the NBA All-Star Game and all the events at Lucas Oil Stadium. So let's do some Lucas Oil swag. Let's get some General Tires swag, because General Tires ARCA race got off.
Yep, sure did. And Gus Dean, your winner. But Gus Dean and his teammate, Tony Brininger, they got issues. And Tony Brininger went after him after she walked out of the almost said child care, out of the care center after an accident Friday night, Saturday morning. I interviewed Gus Dean at 1:30 Saturday morning.
Was that on the floor of the airport or somewhere else?
Little did I know, 2 days later, I would be sleeping on the airport at that time.
In Miami.
In Miami. Freak Nation. We're going to spend 10 minutes coming up next. The biggest stories that we feel for NASCAR and the Cup Series, or just NASCAR in general, as one is developing as we speak. A number of drivers want to get paid. We'll share that with you. But the biggest stories from the four of us going into the 2024 NASCAR Cup season, we'll get to those. Mine's going to piss a lot of people off, as he typically does piss people off. Why? I don't know, but really I do know why. We'll get to that story, Freak Nation. Big second segment coming up, Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios, all on MAV TV.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up for one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers required.
You're back with Speed Freaks on a big old fat Sunday night, Freak Nation. If you're watching us on MAV TV, you've got some extraordinary faces on there. Richard C. Swaby, I don't know what the heck you were doing, my friend. What were you doing there, you graphics genius?
I was trying to get a piece of sound ready to play later in the show. I was doing my job because I want the people of the Freak Nation, if you're listening to us or watching us, I want the people to hear from The Rock on Sunday from the Daytona 500. He was comparing himself to Denny Hamlin, and I want people to hear why, and we'll get to that later in the show. That's what I was doing.
All right. Yeah. Well, there you go, Freak Nation. This segment brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil. Do yourself a favor, Freak Nation. There's a great website. It's called lucasoil.com, where you check out a line of products to keep all of your rides fat and happy. Go to lucasoil.com. Don't believe me, they have hundreds of products to keep your two wheels, your four wheels out there on the road feeling snappy. Go to lucasoil.com. So we've got a Monday Daytona 500 race, and we've intended to have a recap of the race for this show. Nope, not happening.
I've got plenty more to still go over, though.
Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Go to generaltire.com. That's generaltire.com to find the tires for your righteous ride. After her news and notes, the stories. Each of our top story for 2024, the NASCAR Cup season, following Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes. Crasher?
All right. Well, this weekend, we talked about it just a little bit ago. Supposed to be about the Daytona 500 and all the supporting races throughout the state of Florida, but no, not much of that panned out. The Xfinity Series 300-miler will now begin a doubleheader Monday, culminating with the 66th running of the Daytona 500. Happy President's Day, everyone.
Right.
All right, races that did see checker flags were the Truck Series. Nick Sanchez, the victor, after surviving, a sixth-lap melee and then avoiding carnage himself for the remaining 95 laps to take the win. Hear me out here, guys. 51 of the 101 laps run in Friday's truck race were yellow. That's a smidge over 50% of that race that was devoted to you going to the bathroom and refilling your beer, not actual action on the track.
You know what? I want to talk about that, Crasher.
What's wrong with that?
After Pit News and Notes. So go ahead and get. That's all right, Richie. Stay with the single.
All right. So I might just be furious because we didn't have much on-track action at all weekend anyway, and then you get that on Friday night. I'm glad we're going to talk about that later. The ARCA race was then run very later that Friday night into Saturday morning. Kenny just talked about not getting back to his hotel until 4 a.m., but that was after a 1:30 a.m. interview with eventual winner Gus Dean. He also survived a pileup early in the race and then just held on for his win. His second win on the week, by the way, partnering with his late model win in New Smyrna. That's actually pretty good news. Other news this past week, though, not on track. David Malukas, IndyCar driver. He underwent surgery on the torn ligaments in his left wrist following a mountain bike crash in Arizona, where we are right now. It's estimated he will be out approximately 6 weeks following the removal of his stitches, which is set to be this Sunday. Now, nothing has been official yet, but with Arrow McLaren just on Friday. Stay tuned for that. Speaking of IndyCar, it became official last week that their season finale would move from the downtown streets, all that Broadway promotion that they did last year, of Nashville to the Nashville Speedway, thanks mostly to a last-minute salvaged effort by Scott Borchetta. Not IndyCar brass. That's all allegedly. By the way, Scott Borchetta and Taylor Swift, they still besties?
We're not going to talk about that. No rabbit holes. No rabbit holes.
I'm just saying the answer to that is no. But what's the latest now on Christian Horner? Alleged WhatsApp messages were uncovered by a Dutch newspaper. Christian Horner, of course, the team boss for Red Bull. These WhatsApp messages take the story a little bit further and put a more sexual component to, the allegations against him. Formula One just Sunday issued a statement urging the investigations by Red Bull to be sped up. Apparently, a resolution is wanted by many powers that be before the F1 season begins 2024 in just a couple of weeks. We'll see.
Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes, again, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Go to generaltire.com to find the tires for that big old fat ride of yours. Let's do this, Freak Nation. I want to talk about that truck race and the ARCA Series race that, I don't know if you have 51 laps under caution, is that a race?
It's hard.
Statman, you remember the days, and we're going to sound like old dudes on our lawn and our white socks and our black flip-flops.
With the white socks going in between the little toes.
What's wrong with that? That's stylish.
Watching the truck race Friday night from the track was a miserable experience. Gone are the days of Ron Hornaday and company of getting through a truck race with maybe 3-4 accidents. And I understand it's Daytona, but my gosh, if you caught any glimpse of that race, there's no redeeming value of that race at all. Statman, you made note of it at Phoenix. You saw what happened in the last race of the year in Phoenix.
That was ARCA, right?
No, that was the truck
well?
series.
Okay.
How Ben Rhodes ended up winning the championship was just
right.
It was stupid racing. And again, stupid racing Friday night in the truck series. I don't know how you remedy it, Statman, Crash, Suave, to help prevent this from happening again.
Let's put that out on social media because you're right. Statman brought this up last year. Something has to change.
They got to change the standards that they use to select drivers. It's got to be something more than a suitcase of money on somebody's desk and say, sure, you can go drive my car, truck. We don't have the same level of drivers that are getting in these machines. So what do you expect? Like we're saying, this showed up at Phoenix last year and just a couple of months ago, and it's not going to change. It's going to be maybe not that bad, but it's going to be bad all year. I didn't see anybody at Phoenix who would qualify to run in a Cup race or even an Xfinity race right away.
Well, tell that to Hocevar, who, again, has a full-time Cup ride right now going into the 2023 season, and he was part of the trucks. Listen, I understand competition. I get competition, but the shrapnel that's left on the track and what it does to fans, it was a miserable experience. And this is on the heels, excuse me, of ARCA moving their race on the backside of the truck race. And we know what ARCA does at Daytona. It's Shrapnel Fest 2024. It's just what it is. And it was, again. So when I'm hearing individuals that collect paychecks when they're paid from the order of NASCAR, when NASCAR's paying these individuals to cover their content, when I hear them bashing the trucks, then they've got issues. These are individuals that, from my standpoint, are a little concerned about what they might say to offend NASCAR. I gotta say that believe that the racing committee inside the NASCAR walls, they've got to find a way to correct this because it was a bad experience for individuals there that were hanging out waiting on this freaking truck race to finish.
They gotta raise the standards.
Yeah,
but bottom line, they gotta raise the standards. It's got to be something more than here's $400,000. I want a seat in your car.
But how? Because what's different now than we witnessed 20 years ago when the racing in trucks was so much better? The standards were the same, allegedly. So what's changed and how has it gotten so bad?
They chose guys who had experience, more than 6 months worth of late models, and they had experience racing. Maybe racing their own equipment so they wouldn't tear it up as easily, but they had guys with experience. Ron Hornaday was a track champion in several places. Ron Flowers, is that his name? The guy used to drive in Corvettes as well. He raced in trucks. The guys that had experience raced in these machines, and they didn't depend on people who showed up. Like Henley won a kart race, and if you guys had $400,000, you'd put it on somebody's desk and get her a ride. She'd have to sit on 7 seats to get up to see over the steering wheel. But for crying out loud, Kenny, you and I drove fast enough years ago to qualify for a truck race. And we had nothing going on. So, these guys are showing up and they don't know what they're doing. And they're putting the car in places that are dangerous and they're just tearing up equipment. You would think the owners would say, give me a break here. Go sit down. Go learn how to drive.
Quickly, Richie.
No, I found a tweet where someone had talked to one of the owners of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, saying that the organization suffered $100,000 in damages to their trucks.
Wow.
$100,000 for a smaller team, right? We got to
go. We got to go.
Rayum Brothers, $100,000.
Whoa.
Bubba Wallace is going to aggravate some people coming up next.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Hey Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil parts cleaner and degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil power steering fluid?
They'll have that too.
Even the octane booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. Three things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We are told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Freak Nation, Christopher Bell will be joining us here in the Freak Nation. ARCA Series winner Friday night, Saturday morning from Daytona. Gus Dean will be here in the Freak Nation. We'll hear from Kyle Busch. Had a chance to catch up with him to talk about his son Brexton, who continues to win in Bandoleros and a number of other little series.
Didn't he beat his dad in micro sprints just a couple weekends
Maybe
ago,
that's what the
too?
hell it was. I'm just, again,
No. I'm just saying he beat his dad.
punch drunk Pablo right here, given the fact I haven't slept very well the last 6 days. But other than that, big show for you, Freak Nation. Thanks for hanging out. Lucas Oil, General Tire, GeneralTire.com. Find your tires for your righteous ride at GeneralTire.com. Real quick, before we get into what we think might be the biggest stories going into the Daytona 500 and the 2024 Cup season, here's some names from the 2007 NASCAR Truck Series that every one of these names will ring a bell, and gentlemen that we've had on the show over our 24 years of doing Speed Freaks. Dennis Setzer, Jack Sprague, Kenny Schrader, Mike Skinner, Johnny Benson, Ron Hornaday, Travis Kvapil, Ted Musgrave, Brendan Gaughan, Terry Cook, Chad McCumbee, TJ Bell.
Wow.
Let that resonate with those younger drivers in the Truck Series right now. Richie, you don't even know who those guys are.
Actually, I do.
Yeah?
I know some of them. Absolutely. Yeah. I remember watching some of those guys when I was a little bit younger and just getting into NASCAR and, Jack Sprague and the like, Matt Crafton still in the sport as even now he's been around forever. I wonder if that's the biggest difference. Like those guys stayed in the Truck Series and would occasionally run other races. Whereas now, I think somebody in the comments pointed this out too. It's just another AA for the Cup Series. It's just a feeder. So you don't have guys sticking around for very long. So your average age is super, super low in ARCA and in the Truck Series now too, which means you don't have as much experience in the sport as you used to.
So again, playing off of what we were talking about last segment, just a horrible Truck Series race from Daytona where Crasher stated 51 laps of 100 laps.
101 ended up being run because of the green-white checkered at the end. But still, it's still 51 of them, a smidge over half under yellow.
That's just, it's got to stop. It's got to freaking stop. Christopher Bell coming up in about 10 minutes here in the Freak Nation. But real quick, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because, again, it's kind of us pontificating going into the 2024 season. Now with the 500 on Monday, we have a chance to really throw some commentary in on what we see are the biggest stories or a big story going into the 500 or, frankly, for 2024 in the Cup Series. Curious, Suave, what's the biggest story for you going into the 2024 Cup Series or, frankly, the Daytona 500?
Yeah, I have an on-track one and I have an off-track one. The off-track one, I think we're going to get to a little bit in the show, but it has a lot of wide-ranging things that may happen with the sport going forward. So it's a big, big story. The thing I'm most looking forward to this year, it's the Kyle Larson double. Like May cannot get here fast enough for that. I don't know what that says about NASCAR because it's more of an IndyCar story than anything because obviously Kyle Larson is one of the favorites to win the Cup Series championship this year, as he seemingly always is. But, man, I cannot wait for the Indy 500 this year because of Kyle Larson. So that's my on track is – can Kyle Larson become the best driver ever to have the best finish in both races on the same day? So I'm excited about
it. And if you follow us on Twitter and Instagram, you saw my question to Kyle Larson about that specifically. He didn't get aggravated with me, but it was as if, bro, that's down the road. It's not right now. I'm thinking about the Daytona 500. I can compartmentalize these things and not worry about the 500. But then you got guys like Richie that just fast forward to the Indy 500.
I think it's interesting, though, Richie, how you say that's more of an IndyCar thing. I really maybe IndyCar fans would think that way and NASCAR fans think otherwise. But I really look at it as a motorsports feat that several have tried and just it's almost an impossibility to win both. And then weather plays a factor that let's say you do end up winning the Indy 500 and you head to Charlotte, but what if weather delays you and then somebody else has to sit in to start your Coke 600? It blows the mind. I feel like it's just a huge motorsports in general feat that, like we've talked about, nobody's.
It is, but that's not. I don't know if that's good for NASCAR or not. That's the thing. It's like in terms of like storylines, that's just not. It's not a storyline that only happens in NASCAR, and that's not good for the sport, right? It's good for motorsports in general, but it's not good for the NASCAR Cup Series. You see what I'm kind of getting at?
Okay, yeah. If yes,
it's not like, oh, I'm excited to see Bubba Wallace. I'm excited to see the NASCAR Cup Series champion in the other dang sport. That's
Got it.
You know,
Statman, you got a little bit on your 2024, what you're looking forward to, or what's the big story for you for the Cup Series?
The big story for me is, frankly, is going to be a new champion. There's going to be someone who, like Ryan Blaney last year, there's going to be someone who's going to emerge from the pool. And when they try to drain the swamp in NASCAR, they're going to come up with a new champion. Joey Logano's not going to win it. I don't think Denny Hamlin's going to win it. I think guys like Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, maybe even Michael McDowell is going to have a part to play. He rode. His team has a relationship this year with Penske. He's getting righteous equipment now, and I think there's going to be a new driver emerging from the field to take over the championship.
Statman. Speaking of, Michael McDowell should be joining us here in the second hour. Speed Freaks on MAV TV and the Freak Radio Network. Statman saying there's going to be a new champion. Crasher, what about you?
Mine got blown out of the water when the story broke about an hour and a half before we went live Sunday evening that NASCAR teams have hired a lawyer, Mr. Kessler, who was I need to pull up the story, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to need a little bit more time here to search for this.
Let me read the lead from AP here, Crash. I got you while I look it up.
Thank you.
NASCAR teams have hired one of the country's top antitrust and sports lawyers to advise them in their ongoing dispute with the family-owned Stock Car Series over a new revenue-sharing model. The decision to hire Jeffrey Kessler, partner and co-executive chair of Winston & Strawn, LLP, followed a Saturday meeting at Daytona that included the majority owner from each of the 15 charter teams in NASCAR. Although the teams invited NASCAR representatives to attend, none did.
There's a lot behind that headline. I talked to an attorney this evening and really got some background where there's a lot of heat that's going to come from that discussion, and that's not going to be a pretty reality, I don't think.
Here's the deal. Mr. Kessler is the same lawyer who helped college athletes, men and women in the NCAA, get paid for their likenesses.
NIL.
Yes, the NIL agreement. He is also the same attorney. I mean, he's done a ton in sports litigation. And so this is big. This is really big. I was under the impression that 23XI and Denny Hamlin were the ones that were the most upset about the charter system, future franchises, how this is going to work out. The TV deal gets finally announced in December, a lot more money coming in, but it's not filtering down to the teams. I didn't realize that it's all the teams that are really finally standing up and saying, NASCAR, you're getting paid a ton. We don't see any residuals coming our way. We are all in this together. We all need to share in some of the profits. We're not asking you to go back over your past 75 years and dig up money that we might have been owed then. But moving forward, can we structure a new payment plan, so to speak, so that we all can benefit? The Crocs deal that was announced, talking about the shoes, NASCAR Crocs that came out just a month or so ago. Teams don't have the little Croc, what do you call those, Croc charms? No team or driver has a Croc charm that can go on the NASCAR Crocs. So if you want to put Croc charms,
are we talking Croc charms?
We are talking
on
Croc
this show
charms. Yes,
after
we are.
24 years. We're talking about Crocs and Croc charms.
Because the only licensed Croc charms are those that are licensed to NASCAR exclusively, not to the drivers and teams. Shouldn't this be something that everybody can profit in together? The answer is yes. So stuff like this moving forward, I don't know why NASCAR didn't have any representation in this meeting this weekend. This is going to be big.
And they had to know that it was coming.
They were asked to be a part of this meeting,
they
and they
don't
didn't
live in
show.
silos. There are a lot of squeaky wheels, something like that. There's a lot
That's
of
a good call, Crash. That's a really good call. That's going to be huge this year. And just imagine I don't know if you follow F1, the Concord Agreement, that determines where the money goes to everybody. And yeah, I could talk about this for a while, but yeah, that's a huge call, Crash.
I think we should bring it up again in the second hour because this is a big story.
Might there be a strike? Question mark.
Hey,
I don't know about a strike. There's too much money involved by the teams to.
We got to go, guys.
Second hour, baby.
We got to go.
Keep it going.
Coming up next, Christopher Bell. It's incredible how these manufacturer wars are heating up. And Christopher Bell, who just might run himself into a Daytona 500 win or a championship, he joins us next. Speed Freaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Listen, Christopher Bell got himself a big dual win. Toyota swept it. Him and Tyler Reddick swept the duels. from Daytona this past weekend, or last week. And Toyotas, man, the way they stack up for the 500, going to be bonkers. Had a chance to spend about 10 minutes with Christopher Bell, the dude who, frankly, is one of the front runners to win the 500 and to win the championship this year. So much we touch base in here. His workout regimen, his go-to workout songs, manufacturers versus manufacturer versus manufacturer. And there's one nugget in here where it surprised me. Daytona is not the biggest track for him to win at. It's somewhere else, but it makes sense after you hear it. Christopher Bell here in the Freak Nation. We've been talking about your music selection, and you're not aficionado in music. Like, I could play a song, you might know it, but you might not know the band. But your face lit up when you said Linkin Park. What do you do to Linkin Park to get fired up?
I don't know. They've got some good music, and that is my workout playlist. So enjoy me some Linkin Park.
Is it all Linkin Park, or does it go Linkin Park into bands that are similar to Linkin Park? I know you're getting uncomfortable because I'm not going to go deep on these questions with music, but it's all similar to Linkin Park?
I would say so. I mean, it's just Pandora radio, so whatever comes on Pandora on the Linkin Park station, that's what I listen to.
What does Christopher Bell do when he works out?
Whatever my coach tells me to do. Sometimes it's cardio, sometimes it's weightlifting. It seems like more race season stuff is more cardio, and then whenever we get to the off season, a little bit more muscle building, weightlifting stuff. So, yeah, whatever I get coached to do that day, that's what's on my agenda.
I don't care if it's the Chili Bowl or if it's the Daytona 500. I'm fascinated at heart monitors or your heart rate, drivers in general, and how some drivers can keep it, bam, right there. What does Christopher Bell's heart rate do from a Chili Bowl to a Daytona 500?
Yeah, I would say that it's the dirt track races are typically, they're shorter and probably higher heart rate. The asphalt stuff, it depends on where you're at. Like at the end of the Daytona 500, you're coming down to the white flag. Normally it's high, but those middle parts of the race, it'll be, I don't know, a little bit lower. I generally have a pretty low resting heart rate. So, I don't know. I think that's part of my strength is I'm able to keep my heart rate a little bit lower than some of my competitors. But whenever you come to the end of these things, it's always pegged.
I've never raced professionally. I've done some celebrity races, road courses, dirt demolition derbies, and I get so fired up that I'm cursing, I'm saying things in my helmet that I don't say in public. Have you had to watch what you say in the car, given that all these fans around here listening to what Christopher Bell is saying on the radio?
I mean, I've never thought about it like that, but I would say in general, I try and speak. Does
it matter, really?
Yeah, it matters. We've had a couple people get in big trouble for what they've said on the radio. So, it certainly matters, but I don't know. I've never thought about it like that.
Because you're going 200 miles an hour at Daytona Speedway. People expect you to get out of the car or in the car and talk about planting flowers when in your head you're going, this is bull.
Yeah, we're not going to be thinking about planting flowers for sure. You're in the heat of the battle, and obviously whenever you're focusing on something so hard and you're working. So imagine if people had radios whenever they're in their office, right? But that's essentially what we have.
I'm fascinated at qualifying for the Daytona 500 and how the Toyotas look like you're sandbagging. And then you get out and you have the duels and you win the duel. Were you sandbagging, or is it just that these cars are working better in pack racing?
Yeah, I wish I could say I was sandbagging, but no. All of us ran the cars to their fullest potential, and I don't know if we had something screwed up in qualifying because we were a lot worse than what we expected to be. And generally speaking, we haven't qualified well on the super speedways, and we didn't expect to win the pole, but we certainly didn't expect to be in the back of the pack either. So I can't speak on the car, but I do know that everyone in the Toyota industry was perplexed about why we qualified so bad. And whenever we got in the race, it was obviously an amazing turnaround, and all of our Toyota cars were super fast. So I don't think qualifying has any bearing on what's going to happen in the 500.
When we started Speed Freaks almost 24 years ago, it was still win on Sunday, buy on Monday. And then the manufacturer rivalry from our standpoint kind of died down. But the last 3 or 4 years, it seems to have picked up. It's part of the conversation. The Fords are doing this, the Toyotas, the Chevys are doing. Do you feel the intensity now coming back up with the manufacturer versus manufacturer?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because it feels like the introduction of the next-gen car, which would have been 3 years ago now, really separated the manufacturers. And by the end of the previous generation car, all the cars were pretty good at whatever track. And it was just a matter of the driver team execution. And really, the Fords could win anywhere, the Toyotas could win anywhere, the Chevys could win anywhere. But whenever they introduced the next-gen car, all of the components that go underneath the body are the same across all three manufacturers. So the only thing that's different is the bodies that are on the cars. And each manufacturer has their own bodies, and they each have their strengths and weaknesses, which really separated the manufacturers. So, for example, Chevrolet has had a stronghold on the Daytona 500 qualifying. Well, that's because their car or their body was really suited for this track and this style of racing. The Fords were a little bit off at some racetracks, and then they were really good at Atlanta for whatever reason. They were super fast. The Toyotas were really good at the intermediates. So it does feel like, and I felt the same way, that the manufacturers have gotten a little bit more separated since the introduction of Next Gen.
One last thing. My mom owns a Camry. And when Camrys first came out, and I'm not knocking Camrys because they'll last 200,000 miles, no problem. But they just weren't cool cars. NASCAR has made Camrys cool. When I hear Camry come out of a driver's mouth, I'm going, yeah, it looks badass. And you've made it popular for a younger generation.
Yeah, I mean, Toyota's knocked it out of the park these last couple iterations of the Camry, and hopefully this Camry is the fastest one yet.
You talked about, sorry, one last thing. You talked about you never thought you'd be NASCAR racing, stock car racing. Growing up, I imagine World of Outlaws, win the Knoxville Nationals, Chili Bowl, those were the creme de la creme for you. But now that you're running NASCAR, does Daytona still, does it hold that special place for you now?
I mean, I think for the general population, the Daytona 500 is the biggest race of the year. But probably in the industry, I would say Darlington's up there. You know, Daytona is a super speedway that has drafting, and you know, you have to rely on teammates. It's just a different style racing, where Darlington, the Southern 500 in particular, that's a driver's racetrack, and the best driver is going to succeed at that style track. So Daytona 500 would be amazing, but the Southern 500, that's what we're after.
It caught me off guard when he said that. But then I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, that's a driver's track where you've got to drive that track, and it makes all the sense in the world. Your Statman Scat coming up next hour, but Statman, if you think about it, Darlington, I mean, that's a wild card type track for really any driver's capability. So that I understand it.
Yeah, it's also the history. It's been around a long time, and drivers like to do well, and probably some of the older people on the team probably have a little nudge, hey, who's going to do better at Darlington and the Darlington stripe and all of that stuff. I don't know that the drivers, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a driver and I'm not in the paddock, but that surprised me to hear that. I would have thought places like, I don't know if it, you didn't mention Las Vegas. That's where Fords do well. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Darlington surprised me, though, yeah.
But you, Crasher?
I think it's because of the history and just the tradition there, not just for drivers, but for fans. The entire weekend it's just a big weekend on the NASCAR schedule. It always has been. So, yeah, that doesn't really surprise me that much. But to your point of it being a driver's track, that makes much more sense than a Daytona or a Talladega, because we've had drivers ad nauseum tell us, you, Joe Blow off the street, can drive Daytona. It's banked so well that you could do it. You may crash, but you could definitely do it. Can Joe Blow from the street drive Darlington and do anything right? Probably not. So, yeah, I get it.
Was that the name of about 30 drivers from the ARCA Series and the NASCAR Truck Series? Was Joe Blow? Joe Blow into the turn, into the wall, into the catch fence, into the grass. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, Christopher Bell. And I put it out there. One person out of about 30 or 40 people who I asked to try and guess what track was it that Christopher Bell enjoyed winning the most. Not many people guessed. Only one person guessed Darlington.
Oh, somebody did guess it, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody did guess Darlington. Coming up here in the second hour, Michael McDowell will be here in the Freak Nation. Kyle Busch and his Rusty Hips will be here in the Freak Nation. And we're going to get more into the conversation about this high-powered attorney that's now powered up with drivers. Teams. That's next. Speed Freaks Pit and the Luke Soul Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
You take car maintenance seriously, and you want to pass on that legacy of care. Use Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer to shield your engine from excessive heat, debris, and friction. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
Oil. It works.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We are told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Please hang up and try again.
Live on the Freak Radio Network, broadcast Broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Coming up in the second hour, your Statman Scat, Michael McDowell, who, by the way, Statman believes Michael McDowell may be showing some championship fervor this year for the NASCAR Cup season. Also coming up, we're going to hear from Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, and more. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, on Facebook and the website, speedfreaks.tv. If you're not familiar with Speed Freaks, we've been doing this for almost 24 years. Started off on one station, now on about 100 stations across the country, every audio app, and, of course, now on MAV TV. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for those over 2 decades, man.
And someone new tonight.
Oh, thank you very much, Crasher.
I believe I'm an Indiana girl, and I'm actually wanting to give love to my neighbor in Ohio.
Oh, let me make sure I have this correct.
Statman needs to know this. It's his Ohio brethren.
Statman, do you realize that we have another new affiliate tonight, buddy?
Yeah, I saw that in the pre-show notes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for saving me, man. Appreciate that. The talk of the town, 97.7 and 1570 AM WHTX in Youngstown, Ohio. What you got?
It must have spilled on the floor while you were asleep in the airport.
I agree.
Yeah. Back to Kenny's poor travel stories, getting from rain-soaked Daytona back to Phoenix, Arizona. How many hours in airports?
I don't care. I had a damn good time. We got tons of content. We spoke with a number of drivers. I got some fantastic insight, some insight that I'm not going to repeat here on these microphones.
Well, that's not fun.
But I may somehow, some form, some fashion, clandestinely mention some things.
Oh, so pay attention?
Yeah.
Got it.
I asked Stat, Crasher, Richie, their big story going into the 500, going into the 2024 season. And I read an article from a gentleman out of Orlando, and it's incredible how I agreed with damn near everything he said. It had to do with Bubba Wallace. And how I think that's the story. I think it starts with the 500. Bubba Wallace wins the Daytona 500 with 23:11, Michael Jordan. That will cross that invisible wall that's kept NASCAR off of some of the mainstream talking heads, sports, and lifestyle entertainment shows. If Bubba Wallace with Michael Jordan wins the 500, PTI will be talking about it.
Oh, true.
You'll have Sports Center you'll have Sports Center diving deep into Michael Jordan's history of championships, and then, of course, pulling in Bubba Wallace. And when we posted some great sound bites from Bubba Wallace and Media Day, it's just, he's an African-American, he's black, and there are people out there that just don't like the fact that there's a black driver, and there's a black driver making it into the playoffs. I don't care how he got there. He got there. He was one of the top drivers last year in the NASCAR Cup season, his first time into the playoffs. It was a big damn deal. It's a big damn deal for NASCAR that he succeeds. It is. And people are just, it's, back up a second. Bubba Wallace winning the 500 would be the biggest thing to hit NASCAR in a long day. Bigger than Kyle Busch getting his first win, bigger than Martin Truex, bigger than Brad Keselowski getting their first 500 win. If Bubba Wallace with Michael Jordan win the Daytona 500 and contends for a championship, his 7th season, I believe it is, in the Cup Series this year, will be the biggest news for NASCAR. To some people, it'll be horrible news. And I don't feel sorry for you because I don't even know you. But if Bubba Wallace wins the 500 Statman Crasher, Richie, that's the story for me. Because he can contend, and he's proven that he can contend. Now that he seems to have gotten a few things straight in his head. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Without question.
Yeah, they made huge steps last year in the second half of last year. Somebody figured something out. They got to the second round of the playoffs. Some major drivers didn't do that. And anybody that doesn't like it need to sleep on an airport floor.
Oh, wait.
Here is Bubba Wallace talking about his mental state coming into the 2024 season. Sounds awesome, doesn't it? What the hell's the problem?
Or not.
That is not. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let me remove that. Let me try this again. Let's see if we can get Bubba Wallace talking about his mental state. All right. Does that work at all? Why in the hell isn't that working? Well, son of a gun, man. All that damn editing we did, Richie, to get that thing done.
It's on our social channels. Let's just put it that way. Did you ask him that question?
I asked him a follow-up to his mental state. Let's see if that son of a gun.
Follow-up.
Richie, let's see if that one plays. All right. No, that one's not playing. Richie, what the hell are you doing with these videos, dog?
Hey, I technology, bro. Blame the technology. Let me try and upload them again. I guess. Try one more time. He dove into his mental state, and if you saw, I think it was after Phoenix, where there was a post on Twitter or Instagram where he was talking about him just being in a room staring at a wall and how important his wife is in improving his mental state and his mental capacity. He talked a little bit about that, and then I dove into it about really what was it? What were some of the things that helped clear his head? Are we going to try it again? Try it
Ricky?
again. Yeah.
All right, let's try it
Really
again.
good. The best I felt mentally. Physically, I feel about the same. I'm lazy, bum, need to go work out. My wife tells me that. Lose a couple pounds. I feel the same there, but mentally, like having self-appreciation, having the confidence, having the awareness of where I'm at in the sport, having just a new appreciation or just a different appreciation, just a different mindset going into this year, racing for kind of something totally different. Yeah, I feel good about it. So get through these first 2 weeks. Daytona, Atlanta, obviously, is just about survival and, you know, showcasing that you can run up front and get pushed and be a pusher and all that stuff. But I think, you know, you really start at what's Vegas or Phoenix first? Vegas. So good mile and a half forward. So there's a reason why Jimmy jumped into a Toyota and made all of his schedule mile and a halves. Toyota's really good on mile and a halves.
I like the transcription there. Toyota's really good on mile and a halves. Meanwhile, the transcription was Toyota's really good on my.
Blame AI.
Richie, were you able to upload my question and answer from?
Let's try it again. Sure.
from
Yeah.
Bubba?
This is high technology stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully it works. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take this one out.
Okay.
Go ahead and try this one, and hopefully it's the right one.
Booty's Bourbon Collection?
Yes.
There you go. That helped out a lot.
And my question to Bubba was, what was it that helped him with his mental state? He jumped into a funny question about Booty's Bourbon.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know what the hell that was, but he gets
crew chief.
Booty Burger.
Oh, hello. How you doing?
You thought it was a brand?
I thought it
of
was a
bourbon?
brand, actually.
Okay.
Freaking Booty's. Yeah. I'm sure there's a brand out there called Booty's Bourbon.
It actually, I
Right?
think we just gave his crew chief
Put some
a new
bourbon in your
business
booty.
idea.
Huh?
A bourbon. in
He
your
gets
booty.
serious here.
No, I'm kidding. Just I don't know. Turning 30, celebrating a 1-year anniversary, celebrating life, just having fun with life, letting the little stuff go, focusing on the big stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, I go back and I find myself watching 2014 truck races. Back when you really couldn't tell that kid nothing. He just jump in a truck and go rip. Didn't have any self-doubt in the world. So trying to bring that back. So I feel good.
Is that easy to do?
Hell no. You jump into a cup car and you're quickly reminded how hard this is.
That's the Bubba Wallace that I enjoy and that I like, that he can play around a little bit and have some fun with it. And the way he was sitting in the chair, he didn't feel uptight. And it was I heard the word gaggle used numerous times. It was a gaggle of folks around Bubba trying to get into his head and find out where he's at, Crasher.
A gaggle. You just got in my head. I can't get that word out of my head now. It's such an old word. But yeah, that was fun to see him just be chilled. Who knows? things do change in your 30s. That's real. Things do change again in your 40s. I mean, people don't want to admit sometimes that, yeah, maturation happens in life, but it does. And in sports, it's a good thing for the most part. So, yeah, it's real what he said. I'm going to believe him on that. Having a great partner, his wife, has to be part of the story. And just getting older and looking back on situations and realizing, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Or I could have been a little different with how I approached such and such. So, yeah, good for him.
And a little inside baseball with these media days, what they do is they stagger drivers coming into this media area for radio, TV, and print. And then they have another area, they call it the red carpet, where local affiliates gather with their cameras, and the drivers just walk this red carpet being interviewed by 10, 15 stations. And when the drivers came into the area where I was, you didn't get the sense that, well, the majority of them didn't want to leave. I mean, didn't act like they wanted to leave. Kyle Busch stuck around for 30 minutes, and I think he was only supposed to stay there for 15 or 20. And I've got all 30 minutes recorded and never got the insinuation that he wanted to get the hell out of there. I don't know what, maybe because it's freaking February and it's not March right now. I don't know. Michael McDowell joining us next, and your stat man Scat. All coming to SpeedFreaks Pit down Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment.
This week I lost maybe 90 minutes I'll never get back. I was trying to explain to a family member that Formula One's treatment of Michael Andretti is business. It's not personal. Then hours later, I read a release from NASCAR showing the global nature And that sport is growing tremendously. It said Daytona 500 would air in more than 185 countries around the world. There are only 195 according to the UN. That reach amounts to 550 million households worldwide. When you chew on those numbers, you can understand why the sport had to do things like diminish its dependence on Southern icons to meet global marketing needs. It's business. It's not personal. Motorsports fans can now watch NASCAR in India, Japan, Greece, Spain, China, and New Zealand. The success of the Garage 56 Camaro at Le Mans last summer helped knock down some of those barriers. Offshore fans found the loud, raucous car engaging, and NASCAR finds engagement with those fans profitable, especially when you understand business is audience and not just racing. It's business, not personal. Peace.
Your Statman Scat brought to you by good friends at General Tire. Go to generaltire.com. That's generaltire.com to find the tire for your righteous ride. It's generaltire.com. Earlier in the first hour, Statman thinks that Michael McDowell, a Daytona 500 winner, has the juice to win a championship. I had a chance to catch up with Michael McDowell. Great conversation. The only gentleman who's called the Freak Nation on his honeymoon. After his wedding, Michael McDowell called us many years ago. It's Michael McDowell now, Freak Nation. So Michael McDowell, it is media day for the Daytona 500, but I don't really want to talk about that right now. I'm more astonished that this guy has never been. So Michael McDowell, it is media day for the Daytona 500, but I don't really want to talk about that right now. I'm more astonished that this guy has never been to a tennis match, has never been to a golf tournament. This guy, born and raised in Phoenix, never to the Waste Management Open. I know. Just too busy running race cars?
You know, I think mostly yes, right? Like, I grew up racing, and racing's a weekend sport, so never had a lot of weekends to go do anything else, and yeah, I just wasn't playing any other sports. I wasn't engaged in any other sports, so yeah, a lot of firsts for me these last few years, getting to go experience a couple different things. But it's funny because, you know, my kids are starting to play sports, and, you know, don't ask me. I don't know. I never played any sports. So yeah, when it comes to racing, I know a lot about that. Everything else, not so much.
But let's be honest. NFL in Phoenix, when the Cardinals came there, they blew. They stunk. So you didn't have any NFL team to gravitate towards. The Cowboys were the most popular team in Phoenix at the time. So now with the NFL, Major League Soccer, and all these other sports, how do you coach your kids? Or do you say, nope, that's not daddy's bag?
So, you know what I remember about the Cardinals? Cardinals used to play in the ASU Stadium, right? The best thing that ever happened at ASU Stadium was that Supercross race that they would bring there every year. That was awesome. So I've been there for Supercross, but yeah, it's cool to see Arizona though. I mean, it's always been a sports town, but it really started booming really right when I left. Actually, we had the Suns, obviously, and then the Coyotes and Diamondbacks, and Glendale goes nuts and crazy, and new arena, new stadium. So it's cool to see so much happening there.
You didn't answer my question. How do you coach your children in other sports?
Easy. I tell them, ask your mom. She was the athlete. She played all the sports, so she's definitely the coach when it comes to that. But all seriousness, right? Like, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so we were outside kids. So we played sports. I just didn't do it, you know, under any sort of organization. So my son was like, well, if you never played basketball, how do you know how to play basketball? I'm like, because when I was a kid, we were outside kids. We had to play outside, so you learned how to play everything. Yeah, so just a different upbringing.
That brings to mind Crasher and our daughter Henley are back in Phoenix, and with your relationship with your wife and your children, you couldn't be standing here without the support of the better half.
Yeah.
Tell us what that means to you and how that's been contributing to your success and continued to race.
Yeah, so my wife sent it to me this morning, so it's fresh on my mind. It's Valentine's Day, right? So this is 23 years my wife and I have spent Valentine's Day together. And so if you just look at that, we're like, so many highs, so many lows, so many unknowns and uncertainties throughout, my career. And, she's been a part of it all. I mean, we met in middle school and been together since we were 15. So, truly all the highs and lows we've experienced together. And there was times where I was just trying to get to the racetrack and she was working at home and taking care of bills and vice versa. And so it's been a complete team effort. And, yeah, it's super special. I think it's super rewarding, though, too, for her because she knows how hard it is to get here because it was hard for her, too. And so she didn't kind of come into success. Like, she was a part of it when it wasn't so much fun. And she knows how important it is and what it means. And she's really helped our kids to understand that, hey, it wasn't always like this, it wasn't always this glamorous. So it's been a fun journey.
I was just telling someone with Sirius recently the story about you calling in on your honeymoon night. That was when we were doing our special Sirius Satellite Saturday show.
Yeah.
Where were you? Where was your wedding and the honeymoon? Where were you when you called into Speed Freaks?
Yeah, so our wedding was in Arizona, in Glendale. And there was a little in-between time there where the wedding was over. We had like a small reception, but then we were going to my parents' house and they were having like another post-reception. And so we were going back to the hotel to change and switch out clothes and put on normal clothes and all that stuff. And that's when I called you guys. I was like, well, I'll have a window there, a time. But it really goes back to, I know it's a funny story, but that's how serious I was about my racing. Like, if there was an opportunity, you needed to take it. And it didn't matter if you were getting married. It didn't matter if somebody had a birthday party. It didn't matter. Like, it was so important at the time that you did whatever you could to keep your career going and keep moving. And now it seems crazy, but at the time it wasn't crazy at all. It wasn't even a thought. It was like, of course I would, So,
You remember what you were running then and why we had you on at the time?
Yeah, I was running in IMSA in prototypes. At the time it was the Rolex series. We had just won Mexico City. And it was 2 weeks after winning Mexico City, so we were talking about that, yeah.
One of the fun things about 2021 for the Daytona 500 was coming here and seeing your car in the infield and just the shrapnel all over that car and people gathering around that yellow car, Michael McDowell, Daytona 500 winner. Go back to prior to that race, your race win to where you are now. I know you're older, mentally you're maybe more stable.
Yeah.
Do you race the 500 any differently than you did in the COVID 2020?
Yeah. No, I hope not. I think that hasn't really, the mindset of winning at all costs hasn't changed. The approach from 2021 to now is different, though, and not because of me, but just because this next-gen car. The way the next-gen car races at Daytona, it's just different. And so for me, I've had to learn new skill sets to be good here in the next-gen car. And so it was a little bit of a reset for me of like, okay, what I did then hasn't been working now, so what do I have to do to get to victory lane again? But as far as the level of intensity and the want and the drive, that hasn't changed. If anything, it's more because you see how big it is. Like, you dream of winning the 500, but until you do it, you don't know what it's like. Well, now that I know what it's like, I know how cool it is and how important it is. And so you want to do it again. And so, we're prepared. We're ready to go. I think this is a really good shot for us.
Do you find now that you are a 500 winner, you clawed your way to the top. You clawed your way through the ranks of motorsports. Now that you have that ring, now that you have that title of 500, people treat you different?
Yes, people treat you different. I don't think competitors do. And I don't think really industry does either. I mean, I think that people that have known me for a long time know me, and it hasn't really changed anything. But the outside of that immediate bubble, it has a pretty big ripple effect, right? And so for your partners and your team and manufacturers and all those things, it's a big deal. And so, but inside your circle, it doesn't really change. Yeah, you're still the same guy.
You're still the a-hole or the nice guy.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, ask my friends; they'll tell you.
Man, Michael McDowell is one of those guys that you just want to win. And I like what Statman had to say about McDowell having the juice. He thinks he's got the juice to win a championship. And why specifically, Statman, do you think McDowell could contend for a championship this year?
Well, I don't know if he has the juice to win a championship. He's got the skill, and now he has better gear. He's running a better car because over the offseason, a relationship was built between Furniture Row, isn't that his team, and Penske and the Ford. So he was much faster all week. He was second on the pole to start the race.
Right.
Yeah, he's got a shot. I think the old guard is not going to be around at the end.
Freak Nation, Kyle Busch and his squeaky hips coming up. Speed Freaks Pits on the Lucas Oil Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil parts cleaner and degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil power steering fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the octane booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. Three things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 4.
Can't thank Lucas Oil enough for making this thing possible. Go to lucasoil.com, a line of products inside your engine, outside your engine, inside your car, outside your car. They got them to keep your car looking spiffy and sounding happy and, frankly, keeping you happy and keeping those bills lowered when it comes to repairs and fuel mileage. Go to lucasoil.com. lucasOil.com. Coming up, we're going to have Kyle Busch joining us talking. Speaking of Lucas Oil, on his squeaky hips, there was a video that was. Did he put it out or did Samantha?
He put it out.
Right?
Well, Samantha took it. She was the videographer. But yeah, Kyle himself put it out on his accounts. I mean, this is the new Kyle. We've talked about the new Kyle ever since the beginning of last season.
Right.
It's fun to see the evolution of him.
So we're going to hear from Kyle Busch. Also coming up, I spent so much time with these darn drivers, man. I was going through the list of content that we've got from Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Martin Truex. You know who was not repentive, was Noah Gragson, who realizes that he's lucky to be back in a Cup car. And we got into a great conversation about some of the folks that he has surrounded himself with to put him on the right track, to keep him on the right track, keep him on the right path.
Interesting. You one-on-one talked to him about that?
Yeah.
Ooh, because his attitude was not great. Let's put it that way. But good for him.
Yeah, so there is a lot there. You make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and you'll see a lot of this content I gathered in Daytona. So Kyle Busch decided to put it out there. He's not a great dancer, but darn it, he's getting better at being a dad with his son, Brexton. All right, Kyle, so we posted the video of you doing that snappy dance in your Lucas Oil outfit. And we were trying to come up with what would be the best grade of Lucas Oil to kind of lube up those hips. They looked kind of squeaky, my friend.
Yeah, definitely the penetrating oil would probably be best. You like that one? Maybe not the 0W40 motorcycle oil, but anything synthetic would probably be good.
One of the things that we enjoy most about your relationship now with your son is watching the development of you as a father, because I'm the father of a 10-year-old. Handling a young girl at 10 years old when it comes to her losing in soccer is similar to your boy losing in a race car.
I bet.
And you've had to grow your butt up a few times to have those conversations with him. Is it comfortable for you being that dad and saying this is what you need to do?
It is. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, there's definitely those tough moments. I mean, when we have tough losses, that's always the times where it's like, okay, let him have his tantrum a little bit, let him cool off, and then let's talk about it and try to work through it. But trust me, my tantrums that I had were always in the limelight, so at least I can hide him right now and try to train that you're going to have way more losses in racing than you're going to have victories in racing, so how you treat those losses is going to be the biggest growth and gain in his life and perspectively and everything else. So it's been good. I mean, he's 8 years old, but I know he's good at what he does, and I don't know that he knows if he's good at what he does because he gets beat down a little bit sometimes, but it's fun.
Our daughter Henley took the door off of the trash door. She slammed it so hard she was pissed that she didn't get any goals. And I let it sit for a while because I want her to feel that anxiety and that heat from losing. Mm-hmm. Do you do the same with Brexton?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, sometimes when he makes mistakes or stuff like that, I try to make him own up to it, where he can't just blame the car and the crew chief for it not being good enough, But he's gotten really good.
30 minutes and that's what you give us? Kenny, there's more that clearly is going to live on our social. The length, the full content of Kyle Busch. And what else did you guys talk about?
Oh, he loves talking about the fact that he's never won the 500. He did not shy away from that at all.
Yeah, it's you can tell through some of his posts on Instagram, Twitter, anywhere, that it's weighing on his mind. He wants to get that win. So yeah, we shall see.
Think about that. I think between Keselowski and Truex, I saw a stat. They've entered the 500 a total of 35 times, and neither one of them have won the 500. Put Kyle Busch and the number of times that he's entered the 500, he hasn't won. There's a lot of again.
So Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch. 3 big names, 3 champions who have never won the series' biggest race, the Daytona 500. Whoa. Will one of them cross it off this year? Holy cow.
Well, racing is so different at the 500 that you do get strange guys winning, coming out of the pack, and the big one, somebody emerges. All the drafting and everything. So that's not that unusual.
No, that's a very good point. You're right. We've seen, I mean, I think even Michael McDowell would admit that his win was, although people say that he's very good on the super speedways, I mean, his win had some luck to it. Ward Burton, same thing. Yeah, you're exactly right. There's guys that you don't expect going into the beginning of the race, yet there they are at the end.
But and this would be a great question for Social Suave.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the go-to of a surprising win at 500 is always Derek Cope.
Oh,
Derek Cope has a Daytona 500 win.
Yeah.
Tony Stewart doesn't. Mark Martin doesn't. Kyle Busch doesn't. Martin Truex, but Derek Cope does. I mean, who's the go-to that you think of that doesn't have a 500 win? does have a 500 win that, frankly, is not one of the better drivers over the last 30, 40
I'd have to
years.
look at the list.
It's just Derek Cope always sticks with me. Always.
It took Earnhardt a long time to get a win at Daytona, period.
Yeah,
I think it was Michael McDowell that had the longest odds to win. I think he was 50 to 1.
Wow.
At the time when he won.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Ricky Stenhouse last year was, I believe, like something like 35 to 1 or something, right?
Mm-hmm. That's another one. That again, look at the odds. Look what Vegas had the odds on these drivers for winning the damn race, and it's Statman's been saying it for 23 plus years. There are some drivers that are just there when the checkered flag falls versus drivers that race to the win, and sometimes Statman, there are just drivers there in the lead when the checkered flag falls. Hello, Daytona.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't win the race. They were just in first place when the race ended.
Yeah.
Who was it? This is driving me crazy. He called Speed Freaks after winning, the night of winning the Daytona 500, and he was driving for the Wood Brothers. I want to say this is
Trevor Bayne.
Trevor Bayne.
Mm-hmm. In his interview with us, if we can pull this up, not right now, but sometime, I remember him saying, I don't have any clothes. I was planning on flying back home. So right now we have to do all these winter interviews the day after, and I have nothing to wear. So yeah, there's another one right there. He didn't even expect to win.
No. And again, Monday is the day for the 500. There's always these crazy bonkers stories that come out of this thing, and
jet dryers. Well, that was a Monday race,
That
wasn't
happened
it?
on Monday with Juan Pablo Montoya. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Hitting the jet dryer.
Hey, real quick, Crasher. We've got about a minute. What was the stat? Excuse me, that you saw about rain delays with the 500?
Oh, of course. Now I don't have it on my phone. That's what Kenny is so good at. Hey, tell me this little thing that we just talked about.
Do you remember? I kind of remember. It was basically that there was no Monday rain delayed races up until 2011.
Yeah, I want to say this past decade, from 1959 to 2011, there were 0 rain delayed or rain postponed races of the Daytona 500. Yet in this past decade, 2012 plus, decade plus 2 years, 2012 to 2024, there have been 5. Now, I was going through the comments after we had discovered this craziness, because of course we want to knee jerk and say, global warming. Yes, that is a component of this, but the Daytona 500 for so many decades was also run a heck of a lot earlier. 11:30 start times, 12:30 start times, 1 p.m. start times. And so you can kind of get the race in before the heavy rains typically hit Florida cities in the afternoon, late afternoon.
And wasn't it it was last week when we were talking about running the double, and yeah, okay, sorry, I was gonna dig a rabbit hole there, but no, I'm not gonna do that.
With weather again?
Yeah, no, about how we were, don't get me going there, Crasher. No, I do not want to go there. So what do you think, Freak Nation? Who's that outside shot to win this thing for you? Who's the Ricky Stenhouse, the Michael McDowell, or frankly the
Austin Cindric was another surprise winner a couple years ago as well.
Good call.
Yeah, there you go.
Good call. Didn't think about that one
Well,
either.
6'6" of them, or however tall he is.
That beast walks into the media center. It's like, okay, I guess the small forwards in here from Florida Coast College coming in here to talk about waving the green flag starts right. Oh, that's awesome. And he walks in, and you saw him on the broadcast with the bow tie. He has his glasses on it.
He's good.
NASCAR driver.
He's good on the broadcast.
Jeez.
He throws in some subliminal stuff that you just got to listen and You just got to know.
All right, Freak Nation, more coming up here from the Lucas Oil Studios. Our picks for the 500 coming up next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
You take car maintenance seriously, and you want to pass on that legacy of care. Use Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer to shield your engine from excessive heat, debris, and friction. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
It works.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Let's do this right here, Freak Nation. This segment brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. GeneralTire.com, a great website to check out. A lot of crazy weather going on, Freak Nation. Speaking of Daytona, make sure you're rolling on a new set of General Tires. Almost forgot this one. Gus Dean, and good reason, because I interviewed the guy at 1:30 Saturday morning when the race was supposed to finish Friday night at Daytona. Gus Dean wins the ARCA Daytona race running on those General Tires, and he was running and racing for a whole lot of people, one including his grandfather who recently passed away. Gus Dean, and he's got some issues with a teammate that you'll also hear about in this interview. It's Gus Dean now here in the Freak Nation. You're doing this for your grandfather. You're doing it for fans that stuck around for many, many hours. This is a huge win for you for a whole lot of reasons.
It is. It's the biggest win of my life. It's the biggest night of my life. I've always watched a lot of people, and I've always thought it was really cool when someone's dreams come true. And you're looking at a kid who came up with this crazy dream damn near 30 years ago, and tonight I get to live it.
When you have a race that goes this long, many accidents, well, we can't get out of an ARCA race here at Daytona without this number of accidents. What kind of mental preparation do you do? Or you just say, let's just see where the cards lie?
I'd probably have a lot better answer to that at any other race, but I don't know what it was. At this race, like I said before, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't anxious. I was barely even excited. I never let it be a question in my mind. Tonight, we were going to win.
You hop into a Venturini car, and we know what Venturini's, the Gibbs, the Stewart-Haas, the Hendricks of ARCA Series, but you've also got to drive that damn thing. And there was shrapnel all over this racetrack. You saw fire, you saw brimstone, you saw smoke. You had to question if you were going to finish this race one time or another.
No, not tonight. Actually, one person that I haven't thanked yet, though, is Greg Van Oss for having the cojones to get up there on that third lane and take us from back there in the middle 20s up there to, close to the front, which got us out of the way of a lot of those wrecks. So that was a solid move by him. It's always fun to work with him. My teammates, Jake, Tony, I hate that the night ended up the way it did for him, but this is the greatest night of my life. So that's the way it's staying for me.
Folks haven't followed the story. You lost your grandfather recently. You go out and win at New Smyrna, and you come here in Daytona and win this damn thing. And trying to turn this into a positive is, yeah, man, doing it for Gramps.
That's right. Yeah, we, he was my best friend, and it was really hard when we lost him. He actually told me before he died that if he should happen to go home to the Lord while I was down here at Daytona, he told me to tell the mortician to put him on ice because I had to crawl through the window. So, you know what? For my family, you can't dream this stuff up, right? You really can't. I mean, everybody loves a good story, but when it doesn't even have to be written, it is a blessing.
Daytona, a win at Daytona could change people's lives. Does this change your trajectory this year in racing, or is it whatever falls in front of you?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going to happen next. We got, I think, 7 other races with Venturini's. I'm looking forward to running those. But, I started this crazy journey 26 years ago with winning at this speedway as the goal, and tonight I accomplished that. So I'm going to live in this moment for as long as my mind allows, and then I'll deal with tomorrow when it comes.
It was brought up in here, and I've got to bring it up. Tony, your teammate, was frustrated at something you did on the racetrack. I know you haven't seen it, you haven't heard it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice since the 55 is my teammate, but definitely is disappointing. It's so early on in the race, really unnecessary move. Even later in the race, that would have been a bad move. I mean, you're not clear. It's unfortunate he has a lack of respect for his teammates and other people on the track that work really hard to get here when his dad's just writing the check, so I think that just has to do with his lack of respect.
But when teammates get back and forth at each other, how do you settle it when a teammate has a problem with you? Do you say, let's just go over here and talk about it? Or?
Yeah, I feel like I've always been really fair to Tony. I feel like I've helped her out as many times as I can here and at New Smyrna. I wasn't even aware that we made contact. I don't know that we did make contact. I don't know if a move that I made put her in a worse position. But whatever it was, I ran the cleanest race that I could. In my opinion, the dirtiest thing that I did all night was do the best job I could on the restart of the last lap at Daytona International Speedway. So If somebody else saw it different, then you know what? I apologize. I hate it, but tonight wasn't about me or anything else. This was about bringing back the trophy to my family.
And, of course, Gus Dean joining us here in the Freak Nation, your winner from the ARCA race at Daytona Friday night, Saturday morning.
Yeah, that was 1:30 a.m., that interview right there. And did you notice? Great interview with Gus Dean, but Bob Pockras was still there, too. Bob Pockras, I swear, is there the first one there in the morning and the last one there at night. Did you leave before him or did he leave before you?
I left after him.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
That's
It was
saying
a
something.
long damn week it was. Wednesday through Sunday morning. Statman, who you got winning the 2024 Daytona 500?
Christopher Bell.
Little Speed Freaks mojo, right?
Honestly,
tonight?
that was going to be my pick too. That was my pick 100%. It's Toyota that's going to win this race. And Christopher Bell, I think, is the best of them. Surprisingly, 20-1 odds. So you can get some really good value on Christopher Bell. And I think he's going to have a really big season. He's going to kick it off with a win in the Daytona 500. Great minds, Statman. Great minds.
All right. You guys thinking a Toyota is going to take this? Yes. They were amazing in the duels, but I'm going Chevy. And I'm going with one of the Kyles. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson. Going Kyle Busch. He's going to knock it off. Finally, check that box. Bucket list. Daytona 500 win complete.
He's the second favorite at 9-1 behind the favorite Denny Hamlin, who's 8-1.
Okay, Richie, if you can, in the next 15, 20 seconds, pull up the list of winners for the Daytona 500, but just the list that you were referring to a few moments ago, if you would. Because it's a race that we play for the odds, or a lot of people play for the odds, but it's really not an odds betting race. Or
Good point.
I didn't frame that properly, but it's not a race that you go to the odds and think, yeah, this guy's most likely.
You have to stay clean.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is a very hard race to stay clean. So, good point.
So, Richie, the last 10 races, who were the winners for the Daytona 500?
I don't have it up yet, dang it.
What the hell have you been doing for the last 15 seconds? Man, millennials know how to take directions?
Oh, my. Serious?
All right, here we go. I'll bring it up here. Stenhouse, Cendric, McDowell.
Okay, hold on.
Hamlin
Okay,
twice.
slow down, and let's see of these winners, the last 10 races, that we're saying an odds-on favorite to win it, okay?
Stenhouse, 2023.
Nope.
Cendric in 2022.
Nope.
McDowell, 2021.
Nope.
Hamlin, back-to-back, 19 and 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Austin Dillon in 2018 was a bit of a surprise.
No.
It was a little surprise. Yeah.
Kurt Busch in 2017.
No, that's okay.
I remember that one.
Denny won for the first time, closest finish in Daytona 500 history in 2016.
Okay.
Joey Logano in 2015.
Okay.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., 14.
So that's our last 10 years.
So there are 5 in there that, again, weren't odds-on favorites to win the damn thing. And I'm trying to be that guy, trying to find that one driver that mid-pack driver that once that C parts on that last lap, that will shoot that gap and grab that win.
Ross Chastain.
Not a bad choice, Crasher. Do I dare go with the Ford Keselowski? No, I'm going with the Ford. It's easy to go with Joey Logano, but I'm not. Who do I go with? Oh, gosh, he's in a Tyler Reddick's in a Toyota. You know what?
And he's got a dual win.
Ross Chastain for me.
Oh, you're going there.
Yeah.
Ross
Watermelon Man.
22-1.
Yeah, why not?
You want to put money on him?
Watermelon Man.
Well, no, I'm going to put some tires up for grabs. Freak Nation, if you haven't responded to our Beat the Freaks on Twitter at Speed Freaks, you have a shot until the race gets going. 4 o'clock, man.
Jimmy
All right.
Johnson, 45-1.
All right.
Dinger, 50-1.
Jimmy Oh, Dinger. Ooh.
Did have a good qualifying round.
Austin Dillon, 40-1.
Not where you qualify, it's where you race.
Yeah.
Finish.
Shoot the juice. Loose is that, man.
Cut it loose.
Yep.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
You take car maintenance seriously, and you want to pass on that legacy of care. Use Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer to shield your engine from excessive heat, debris, and friction. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.